This PB was only 1 second faster than his previous best, but the way he achieved it tells a much bigger story. Today's parkrun progress report comes from Regan Hannett, who finished sixth in parkrun, Blenheim parkrun number 477 from the 16th of May 2026. Now, Regan's time of 19:39 was his PB. He's got 10 parkruns under his belt, with his previous PB being 1940 back in 2020. If we look at his data on Strava, we see he ran the full 5Ks, as we all know, but due to the privacy settings, it's only displaying splits from 4.71 kilometers. And this is a fascinating performance because, unlike many of the previous parkrun progress reports we've looked at recently, there's no obvious weaknesses to identify. The headline for me is this is a well-paced sub-20 parkrun, and this is what it looks like. The pacing is remarkably consistent with splits of 359, 352, 352, 353, and the final 710 meters he held a pace of 352. Honestly, that's a beautiful pacing. There's no reckless start, no mid-race wobble, no late race collapse. After settling into the run during the opening kilometre, Regan effectively locked onto a pace and stayed there. Many runners chasing sub 20 will often run a 345 opening kilometre in something like a 348, a 405, a 410, and they're just trying to hang on for that final kilometre. Regan did the exact opposite. The first kilometre was smart. The opening 359 wasn't conservative, it was controlled. That's a very important distinction. A lot of runners trying to break 20 minutes, panic, and try and bank time early. Regan didn't. Instead, he got himself into the race, settled his breathing, and then moved smoothly into pace. The next 3 kilometers suggested he judged that perfectly. The consistency suggests excellent pacing awareness. Look at his pace: 359, 352, 352 again, 353, and then 352 final pace. That's basically running with metronomic precision. That tells me he had good race awareness, excellent effort judgment, confidence in his fitness. There was no emotional racing here, just execution. Now, if we come down and look at his heart rate at each of the splits across the way at each kilometre, his heart rate was 177 at the first kilometre, 181 at the second, 77 at the third, 166, 17. I'm getting my notes mixed up. 177 at the first kilometre, end of the first kilometre, 181 at the end of the second, 177 at the end of the third, 176 at the end of the fourth, and 166 at the finish. Now you see it fluctuates quite a lot. The obvious anomaly is the final reading. Normally we'd expect heart rate to be highest at the finish. The fact it drops to 166 strongly suggests one of 3 things. Regan was using a wrist-based optical sensor, and the heart rate was showing some sort of lag or error as a result of that, or a data recording anomaly. Now, given the pacing remained identical right through to the finish, and with all the variations through here, in terms of the red line with the heart rate fluctuating so much, I'd be very cautious about drawing any physiological conclusions from the heart rate data. The pace tells us far more than the heart rate data does here. Now, his cadence stays really stable. 166 SPMs at the end of the first kilometre, 164 at the end of the second, 166, 164, and 162. Again, very consistent. That suggests efficient mechanics, good rhythm, and minimal fatigue-induced breakdown. The slight reduction late is tiny and probably not meaningful. Nothing here suggests a runner fighting to stay together. The biggest takeaway, there's no fade in this run at all. This is the part I like the most. A lot of runners run a PB because they survive. Regan ran a PB because he executed. These are very different things. This wasn't Regan holding on for dear life. This was Regan knowing exactly what he can sustain. That's often the hallmark of an athlete ready to go faster again. The result itself may only be 1 second quicker than his previous PB from back in 2020, but the way he achieved it is arguably more important. This wasn't a desperate last gasp effort. This was a controlled, repeatable performance. And these are often performances lead to 1930s, then 1920s, and eventually something faster still. My overall assessment, this is best described as an exceptionally well-paced PB performance built on patience, confidence, and outstanding pace discipline. The fastest runners aren't always the ones who start quickest. They're often the ones who waste the fewest seconds over the entire 5 kilometres, and Regan wasted virtually none. So that was Regan's run, a 1 second PB on paper, but a much bigger achievement than when you look at how it was executed. 6 years after his previous best, he didn't get there by taking risks or chasing time early. He got there through patience, confidence, and some of the most consistent pacing I've seen in a parkrun progress report. If you'd like me to break down your own parkrun or 5K like this, pacing, heart rate, cadence, race execution, and exactly where your next gains can come from, you can apply for your own parkrun progress report at the link down below in the description. Ka kite anō, and I'll see you in the next video.